just behind Michelle Wee's ball. There's a little bit of moss. It looks like a stone, but it isn't. It'll just make this shot a little more awkward. Fairly near the face, but the green runs away. It's a relatively easy bunker shot, but uses a slightly odd technique.
Just ran on. Not a good second shot from Mo, but 150 yards. There's still a lot of golf to be played here before we close up shop for tonight. Now, Michelle Wie there being generous and throwing her ball to the crowd there, but a little confusion and consternation has crept up. You remember, those of you that have been with us, she was in a bunker at the 14th, and Ken Brown said that there was a little bit of moss, a bit of grass behind the ball. And now, did she grind her club or not? Now, if she touches that bit of moss, bit of grass, or if it was a leaf, then that technically is touching the sand. Now, it seems to be okay thus far. But,
yeah.
Well, it touched it going back. Now, the swing was continuous, and well, there's a penalty for that, of course. They'll show her the shot when she comes in, and if it's agreed there's a two-shot penalty, and then she might well be eliminated. But I don't think they won't approach her until the end of the match. But that just shows you how complex. Have another look at that, because it is, for you that try and play the game this is very, very complex. There's a bit of stuff there. She just touches it as it goes back and moves it, and you'd hardly say that's worth a penalty, but such are the rules of golf. They're so complex. I don't think she has the faintest idea there might be a penalty. Do you agree, Karen? What do you think about that?
I think that's a really tough one, because I wouldn't have even thought of that myself. Is it this? I mean, would it be the same thing if you're in like a water hazard and you're trying to play your ball out and you caught the grass on the way back?
Well, I think hazards of that sort of you as long as you don't ground your club, in fact touch the actual ground, you can go through, swishy bits of grass. And
okay.
But if she's penalised, so that's very harsh, I think.
I think, Peter,
Because
that I'm not sure that, I mean, if she's touched the sand in the course of her backswing.
But she didn't touch the sand, did she? She touched that bit of moss. The moss was like touching a leaf.
Well, if she does it in the course of the backswing, I don't believe that she is penalised.
It's interesting. It's like hitting. Watch again here. You see that there's a little bit of moss or whatever. Now she comes back. Now that club clearly is not touching the sand.
No.
And she just did she flick it, or was it an optical illusion?
But it's on the backswing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yep.
And if you can incur no penalty, as far as I understand
Rule
it.
13.4 out of 9,847. It's like taking a backswing under a tree and knocking a leaf off. As long as you keep going, you're all right.
The rules
Very
are
complicated. Henry Longhurst was right. The rules should be written on the back of a fag packet in big crayon. Much activity going on inside.
But a great day's play, and the young Italian Silvia Cavalieri is out in 34, 1 under par, 8 pars, 1 birdie, so she's lying in second place at 4 under for the championship.
There's still 18 groups left out on the course as well, so there's a lot of play still to come. Yeah, that's blown her right back into the pack.
She's being shown the decisions book there by one of the referees, so it's not looking very good for her. It's an awful shot to battle your way round there, Peter, and think you've done level par and hold a great 8-footer or 10-footer on the last.
Well, this is the situation again. As the camera goes in, you see there's a little bit of stuff behind the ball. But Ken thought it was a bit of moss, perhaps from one of the sods up the face of the the revetted bunker. But she's got the club well above the ground. You look at the position of that bit of moss or whatever it is, and it looks as if it moves. But then you look after the shot. As the club goes back, it doesn't appear to have shifted position. He's twiddled the top of it, and the sand underneath has rippled. I think that would be a very hard thing to happen if if that's a penalty on moving something on the backswing. But golfing rules are very complex and very difficult.
And that was Dad we saw there looking anxiously on. That's her father in the red jacket. I think they're listening to what is... That's the caddy telling him what's gone on.
Always tense moments, and I've said hundreds of times, the rules are very, very complex, very complicated. It's a very honourable and honest game. The nearest thing to it, I suppose, is snooker or darts. Snooker players certainly have wonderful integrity. The press all hovering around. Here she comes, and hello.
Guys, we need everybody to go to the side over here for interviews. Scott? Yeah, go ahead.
Well, she learned one thing: to keep your mouth shut. I'm going to see my lawyer.
Quite a bit of play left. Of course, a lot of interest around this 18th green area. Waiting to hear what's happened as regards the bunker incident with Michelle Wee.
Just give her a couple of minutes. Well, let's wait till an official comes out.
Yeah. Okay.
The weekend for Michelle Wee now becomes quite a challenge. She learned of her two-stroke penalty on 14. When her round was done, she exited the scoring trailer with tears in her eyes.
I thought I played solid today. I just couldn't get anything going, and it's not good after you play. You find out you had two more shots. I mean, the par saves on 17 and 18 basically accounted for nothing.
What was your reaction when you found out that you had a two-stroke penalty added on?
Well, I knew I hit the moss, but I guess I knew the rule wrong. From what I always knew from the rule ever since I started playing golf was, if you swing through it would be okay. I knew I hit the moss, but I guess I knew the rule a little bit differently. So, it's a good learning experience.